couple of videos ago, I said I wasn't gonna hone the bars because I was scared I was gonna mess it up. But I thought I'd put my big boy pants on and re-ring the engine, like put new piston rings on and give the bar a light hone. Because after a bit of research, I realised that a full set of rings was only like 45 quid, 50 quid, so I thought there'd be 500 quid for a set, or I don't know. I should have probably looked first. But I have actually already done this bank and these two just to get my eye in. So they're much better, and I've got a nice hone on them now. And then, as you can see here, these two I haven't touched yet, so you can see they're a little bit what they call glazed. And it was only looking at it more and more and realising how little money I could spend to get them right. I thought, oh yeah, I'll just do it. So yeah, I'll do the last two on camera so you can see what I'll do. So just dipping the 3 prongs in oil just to make sure they're nice and lubricated. Getting oil everywhere at the same time. So when you do it, you want to have it really well lubricated. I'm just using engine oil, which is fine. Same grade as what you would use to run the oil. And then it's all about getting the right RPM and the right in and out motion. The way I'm telling, there's a set angle you've got to get, and the way I'm gauging the angle is the actual oil traces that are left on the bar as I'm going in and out. So I'm just using that to gauge my RPM and my speed in and out, as you might be able to see. It's important to go all the way to the top of the bar and over a little bit, and all the way to the bottom of the bar and just a little bit through, just so you're getting that hatch all the way down the bar. And then just give her a little wipe to see how she's come up, which I think I still might just need to give it a bit more, but you can see the angle is pretty much the same as what I've got on the others. And the reason for giving it a hone is just because, imagine the bars, they're not actually perfectly flat, they're like, what do you call it? Almost like saw teeth. So, unfortunately, I couldn't find a saw to explain, but I don't think I'd do a good job with that either. So I thought I'd put my hand to a bit of graphic design. As you can see, it's definitely not my strong point, but hopefully this will help me describe what I mean by making the bars almost have peaks and troughs. So that zigzag line, admittedly, is not to scale compared to the piston, but this zigzag line sort of shows the idea of a honed surface where you would have scratches, not scratches, but where it's been resurfaced, you would see all these hatch marks, or yeah, it is scratches in the surface really, but scratches sound bad. But you get then peaks and troughs, and what happens, and the idea behind it, is that in the troughs you have oil sat in there, just that gets thrown about, but you have oil that ends up sitting in there, and that's what helps the pistons flow up and down the cylinder without too much friction. And then what you expect to see after your first run up is those peaks will get knocked off, and it'll happen relatively quickly, probably on your first start up or two. It'll just take the very peak off, so it'll become a little bit smoother. But after you've run the engine for a long time, this is when you get that glazing effect that I was showing you in the video. It means that next to no oil can sit in those troughs because it's pretty much worn those peaks all the way down to the bottom of the troughs. And this can lead to, and this because no oil can sit in those troughs because they're very minimal, more friction, you'll probably get more wear on your pistons and on your rings because they're just not as lubricated as they probably should be. I hope that explains it. I'm notoriously not the best at explaining sometimes, but I hope that helps.
Record it and just add the thing in, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I can always voice over that bit, can't I? I'll just carry on.
Fucking hell, see what a bit of oil on the old fucking gear trail after.
Oh shit. I'll have to cut that shit out, won't I? It's important you go as parallel down the bore as possible so you don't hone it in an uneven way. Lovely jubbly. Go on to the last one. And once you've done all these, it's obviously got to give the bores a real good clean, and well, the whole engine really. Make sure there's no bits of swarf, well, not swarf, but you know what I mean, bit of grit that's maybe come off when we've been doing it. That's pretty good. We've got them all nicely at the same angle. Or roughly the same angle. Lovely jubbly. See if I use this tool right.
Should probably give you a practice on first and then straight into it.
I'm only using, going to use one, and this is going to be my, what's going on here? Am I being a lemon or what? to use my fingers.
They actually tool, is that like a tool for it? That?
Yeah, they're piston ring installation pliers.
Installation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I thought I'd be able to use them for removal as well.
Using the wrong package. Installation, you remove.
So what I'm doing is just removing the top 2 rings on the old piston, or the piston. And what I'm going to use this for is to make sure that when I'm gapping these brand new rings, when I drop this in, so fuck shit on it. When I drop the rings in to make sure they're perfectly parallel, I'll drop that into that ring, and that'll push the ring all the way in and have it sat flat, so when I'm doing my gapping with my feeler gauge I know it's perfectly flat. And I'll do that with every piston, with every ring. I don't think, I need to just double check, but I don't think I need to gap these ones, but I will check. I think you just need to gap the top 2, which in this book, in my big book of tricks, which is over here, which I showed you before, how to build a modify an LS engine. It actually gives you your ring gaps, and generally it's between, for a naturally aspirated street and race build, you want to be 0.018 of an inch gap on your top ring, and 0.022 to 0.023. So I'm just going to go for that as my rough guide, and yeah, see how we get on. But I'll walk you through it as I do it. I'll do one top ring in one piston, that'll go for that cylinder, and then the next top ring I'll do in this cylinder to make sure it's gapped right for this cylinder, and so on and so forth. So I don't gap them all in the same cylinder and then put it in all the rings that I've gapped in this cylinder, put them in here and realise that the gap's too big. So I'll make sure I gap them for individual cylinders, and hopefully I won't get them mixed up. Right, so what I've got is my top ring set up here. I've worked that out from this bit of paper, which tells you what the common ring size is for the top ones, and then the most common second ones. This is a bit of paper that came with this ring kit from Marley. So these are my top rings, these are my second rings, and then these are my scrapers and what have you. So I've set up a little DIY ring file. It's just a cheap Amazon special. I think it was like 20 quid, and then just set it up on my nice snap-on drill. So not grinding any just yet. I want to check the gap, so I've got my feeler gauge set to 0.018, as you can see. So I'll put the first top ring in, and what I'm going to do is go through and do all my top rings, lay them out in here, and then all my second rings, so I'm not getting confused on which gap I'm using, because it's 2 different measurements for your top and bottom ring. So yeah, we'll give it a go, and I'll see how we get on. It'd be nice if I don't have to gap any of them, but I think that's pretty unlikely. Get that in there, and then get my special tool that I made, and just use a piston to push that flat, which I don't think's worked. I don't think the ring's good enough. What I'm going to do is take those scrapers off and put a big ring in that bottom one. That didn't quite work as intended. So what I'm going to do is put one of these old big rings back in, because they actually hang out a little bit more. And that should make sure it's right then. Right. Yeah, that's better. Drinking again. Just pull that out so I'll make sure I get it right. There we go. You can see how that's actually holding me off parallel now. So that ring should be perfectly perpendicular to the bar now. So then I get my little feeler gauge in the little gap. And it's just not going in at 0.18, so we'll go down one and just see how far off it is. So we're at 0.017 now. So it did look very close. Even 0.17 isn't going in. Let's have a little. I'll try 0.15. 0.15 is just in there. So we want to take a little bit off of that. Take that out. And give the little ring grinder a go. So you can use these two pillars to push the ring against here, and then just give it a little just giving it a little tickle. Yeah, let's try the Bosch drill.
Piece of shit.
So Bosch, if you're watching this,
Or snap on, to be fair. Like if you're watching this, maybe.
you just want to tickle it away, don't go too mad. And then I just squeeze them together to make sure that they're still parallel with each other and there's no gap and you've not wedged it one way or the other. Because then otherwise that's a... So that's... give that a little go. I don't think I've taken enough off there, but that was 0.15. We'll go up to 0.18, and that's almost in. So I can give that one a little tickle again. And it's best to do it bit by bit rather than trying to take it all off in one go. No, it's not whipping up now. Oh yeah.
Still in the development phase, the tool.
I think it's winding the bolt in. A really long bolt, really. I might just put the handle back in. Right, so we're on electric version number 2 ring grinder. So back to snap on now. just being as careful as possible. And again, just squashing them together to make sure that they're pretty parallel, as close as you can, which that's pretty good. It's just a game of rinse and repeat, really. Keep going until you've got the right gap. And that is just about in there. Just give it one little tickle more. But I'm pretty happy with that. Important there's no minimal burrs on them as well, because you don't want to scratching my nice new honed bores. That is in. Perfect, snug fit. It's actually maybe a touch tight, but nope. Pretty good. Perfect. And to prove it, if I go up one more, hopefully that one won't just fall in. That should be just a little edge gone in. Well, not much, probably just shows it's not quite perfectly parallel. But it doesn't go all the way in, just drops in a little bit. Yeah, spot on. Shall do for me. That is cylinder number 1, top ring, done. And there is a dot on these which indicates the top of the top ring. There you go. Just see it there. So that signifies the top of the ring. Because it does matter which orientation they all sit on. So that's cylinder number 1, top ring. So I just had just put you on a little time lapse for the rest of the ring gapping. Bit of a boring and monotonous process, but yeah, one that's got to be done. For some reason I kept wanting to show you my arse every time I ground the ground the piston rings back, but yeah, you'll be glad to know that I covered that up for you in post editing. I think I need a tighter belt or some smaller trousers, but yeah. And a little question is whether you prefer time lapses like this, so you can see basically everything I do, or whether you would prefer just to see me do the first couple and then like just jump to the end when they're all gapped. I mean, I usually like watching YouTube videos where it's on a bit of a time lapse. I don't know, puts me in a bit of a being a bit mesmerised, but I know some people don't like to watch it, so I'll put it to you. What would you like to watch? So in a previous video you may or may not have seen that I actually damaged one of the cam bearings going in. So this is me, finally got them ordered again, just firing that last one back in that I managed to damage last time. Luckily it went a lot better than last time, even though I didn't end up using the coned guide, mainly because I didn't want the cone to push on the cam bearings from the other side. I thought I could end up damaging it or something, so sort of eyeballed it and somehow managed to do it better than when I used the cone. Don't know how I managed that, but yeah, she went in lovely, as you will see from the video. Well, there's my job. Not good. It should be right. Yeah. He says. Just don't want it sat right against the metal. I want it to almost roll itself. See it picking up already. Well, I'm going to have to knock it all the way through anyway, so if it's give it one more. mint as well.
It was pretty minor, and it was still gliding in, but when you pull that tool out, you'll see the little like strand that I could see. But it was pretty minor. I don't like the also leveling thing on this. I'm trying to like be parallel to the bottom here, and it's like slowly twisted it. You know what I mean? It's really weird. Like now, like it's really weird. Look how I'm stood now. And look how like I feel like I'm pretty parallel to the bottom of that. And when I try and straighten it, it all goes really like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like when I'm trying to film like that in there, like look at like that to me, I'm pretty straight. But then like, when I try and straighten it.
Yeah, it's got weird like.
It's like got like a spirit level in it, but it's trying to do something, but it's really weird. It was pretty minor. It literally was like on the top edge of here.
Yeah, I did see it. It's. Well, that's gone in pretty fucking straight. That. And now, bears. As good as the other ones, anyway.
So is there no like guide stop?
No, you've just got to visually and get it in the middle.
That's mental, isn't it?
And that hole's in the right place. That's all my cam bearings in then. Proper. Yeah, so as you can see, one it's a bit darker. Taken me a while. But I've gapped all the rings, and I thought the best thing to do was to have the top rings laid out 1 to 8 like I showed earlier, and then I also did another set of 8, but that's for the second ring. I've written bottom ring, but I mean the second ring before your scrapers. I had a look at these. You don't gap these are you fit as they are. So I'm now ready to put them on all the pistons, but that's a job for tomorrow. The ring tool gapping tool worked really well. It's I'll just need to give them all one last fettle with a file, just make sure there's no burrs on them. But I'll get some needle files tomorrow and do that, and then yeah, bottom end will get built up. So if that is something you'd like to watch, please consider liking and subscribing, and thank you for watching.